Harper. I am your host, Jacob Harper, and today I will be joined by nobody. Yes, that is right. This is a first in Talking Terror. This is my first solo episode. I was gonna book a guest. I had one kind of lined up, but things fell through. My guest got sick, which obviously takes precedence over this. Like, duh. And then I got sick. I'm actually getting over a sickness I had, which is why throughout the episode you hear a few coughs, or hopefully you don't hear them, but I'm coughing a little bit in the episode. I turn away from the mic when I do it, but apologies in advance if you hear them. But yeah, the guest in question, I will not be naming, but they will be on a future episode. We're working things out right now. But I wanted to get an episode out, and I figured why not experiment with the idea of a solo episode? Some I've been kind of playing with the idea of for a while, and wanted to see how it goes. So I explain all of it in the episode, but quick rundown. I made a list of horror news from January. I'm recording this intro in February, which apologies for the delays on getting an episode out. I wanted to be doing at least 2 episodes a month, and I'm already failing at that New Year's goal. But hopefully, February through December is better for me, because January was just it was a long one. Anyhow, I made a list of news, horror related news and shit from January, and I just talked about them for pretty much an hour. And it was fun. I gotta admit, it was fun. So let me know what you think about the solo format episode. Maybe we could turn into a regular thing. I do an episode with a guest, and I do a solo episode. Maybe we could shoot for 2 episodes a month like I intended for this podcast, or maybe more. I am in the process of booking some people. I have some great guests lined up in the coming weeks to months. I have pretty much till March kind of planned out. But yeah, I have some good guests coming up. Y'all are gonna be very excited. But for now, you have to deal with me and my kind of thrown together solo episode. But be that as it may, solo episode or not, it's all the same here. We have a special shout out to Fangoria. Guys, if you don't already know, Fangoria, first in Fright since 1979, and I guess I should have said spoilers for Nosferatu. This beautiful subscriber issue has Nosferatu on the cover, and apologies to my Spotify listeners who aren't seeing this gorgeous ass cover. I mean, really, the people at Fangoria knocked out of the park with this one. It is just a fucking beautiful issue. Um, One, you can get your, well, I don't think you can get your hands on this one because it's a subscriber issue and the date has already passed. But if you want other Fangoria issues like that are that gorgeous, or even more so, I mean, I really don't know how they're going to top this, but knowing the Fango team, they're going to do it. So if you want more amazing subscriber covers like this, you can be a subscriber to Fangoria, and luckily I have a discount code for you to offer you 10% off a one-time subscription using code Jacob the Harper. That's JACOBTHEHERPER, Jacob the Harper. Or you could use my discount link, which I'll be providing in the description below. That gets you 10% off any one-time subscription, or if you're already a subscriber, it can get you some dope Fangoria swag. They got some good stuff: hats, T-shirts, beautiful. Which I should invest in these. Beautiful like holders for your magazine, which I really should invest. I don't want them to get increased or anything. I've had that happen. It sucks. I've had previous Fango magazines get a little creased, and it kind of ruins the look of them. But yeah, look, if you're new here, I love Fangoria. I can't speak highly of them enough, and I'm so thankful to be a Fangoria affiliate and be able to get you guys this discount link. And if you use the discount link or a discount code, it gets you 10% off a subscription or some Fangoria swag, and it gets me a little something. So you're helping out me, helping out the show, and you're subscribing to the best in the business when it comes to horror press. Um, yeah, I can't speak highly of them enough. Even like when I first opened this, I got this really funny ad for the monkey. I'm trying to speak into the mic there. Ad for the monkey says you're going to die. Yeah, I really feeling sorry for the Spotify listeners that they can't see this. this gorgeous ad. I mean, all the more reason to check it out on YouTube, Spotify listeners. But yeah. Which no, don't worry. I go off a lot about the monkey in this episode. I am excited for the monkey. We are about 18 days from release at the time of this recording, so 18 days and counting. But yeah, Fangoria First of Fright since 1979. It's got all the best voices in horror, writing articles. It's a good time. I don't know. I mean, if you haven't checked out Fangoria, you're probably living under a rock. But do yourself a favor, check it out, and feel free to use my discount code to do so. Once again, that discount code is Jacob D. Harper or JACOBTHEHERPER. And actually, I misspoke. I believe it is 20% off a one time subscription. And if it is, I'm going to feel like a dumbass. It is a 20% off an entire order. This applies to a one time subscription or just buying some merchandise. So, yeah, JACOBTHEHARPER. That's Jacob D. Harper. Take yourself 20% off an entire order. JACOBTHEHARPER. Now that I've talked about that, let's get right into the episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, enjoy Talking Terror's first solo episode. Peace.
Hello, everybody. You are listening to Talking Terror with Jacob Harper. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're coming back, welcome back. And if you're just joining us, welcome as well. Yeah, this is kind of a weird one, a solo episode. I don't have a guest, I don't have anything really. I had a list of things to talk about, like horror, film, and adjacent related news. That's my phone. I just hit. I should probably move that over there. And I figured this would be kind of a more relaxed, low-key kind of episode. I am currently booking guests out through February and March, and onward. I was gonna have a guest on for the first episode of the new year, which I know I'm currently 30 days too late, but happy new year to all the Talking Terror viewers and listeners. Thank you so much for joining me for another fantastic year. I know 2025 is going to be great. 2024 was a great year for the show, and I think 2025 will be even better. I have some amazing guests lined up, and one of them was originally going to be the first episode of the new year. I'm not going to reveal who it is yet, but unfortunately, they ended up getting sick, and then I ended up getting sick. I was sick all last week. It was miserable, and then they got sick again. I was talking to them yesterday, and they have COVID, which is terrible, obviously. Uh, but they seem to be doing okay. So we're gonna keep in contact and see if we can get them on for a February episode. I also have a specific theme in mind for February for a separate guest regarding Oscar nominations and horror awards and festivals. So little hints on who that guest will be. But the guest I originally was gonna have for this episode, it was going to be a post-Christmas special. Um, hint, hint at who it would have been. Someone involved in a prominent Christmas horror film that came out last year. That's all I'm going to say about that for now. Um, but yeah, I guess we could just get right into it. I have a list of things to talk about. This has all been over the course of a month. I've just been adding things to this list that I see in the trades in the news cycle, and I was like, hey, that'd be cool to talk about whenever I get around to filming the solo episode. And now we're here. So here's the list I have. So to start, Robert Eggers' Nosferatu came out Christmas Day 2024. I saw it four times in the theaters. And now Nosferatu has officially crossed $100 million at the box office. And I wrote that a while back. I wrote that note a while back. And apparently, I read today it is one of the highest grossing remakes ever released in theaters. Um, so the accolades get higher. We're gonna keep talking about accolades here later on in the show. If you know, you know, but if not, stick around. We'll talk about it. But yeah, Nosferatu crossed $1 million at the box office this month. And I just want to say, Robert Eggers, I saw it 4 times, so you're welcome. I think kind of I had a big hand in that. Obviously joking, but I did see it 4 times. That wasn't a joke, but I did. Yeah, I saw it 4 times at my local theater, two different AMC's, and Alamo Drafthouse. Shout out to Alamo Drafthouse for that. They had a really fun screening that I got to go to, where I don't know if you could see them. I'm not going to move my camera around, but off to the side, I have not one but two Nosferatu popcorn buckets, the coffins. So little flex there for all those who are nerds about popcorn buckets, specifically horror popcorn buckets, like I am. Um, so yeah, congratulations to the team behind Nosferatu for crossing 100 million. If you haven't already read my review on Nosferatu, I can go and link it down below. I believe it is on my website, and I would double check that right now, just in case. I would hate to look foolish and uh not not have an actual review on my website. That would be really unfortunate. Okay, just double check on my website. And yeah, duh. You think I would watch a movie like Nosferatu and just leave the review on the letterbox? Speaking of, go follow my letterbox for all those who have letterbox. I do write quite a few reviews on there. They're not as concise or thorough as some of my website reviews on jacobvharper.com or 1428elm.com is the other site that I do freelance stuff for. Um, but they're quick little bite-sized, get it, bite-sized and vampire. They're little bite-sized reviews if you're into those. So follow me on Letterboxd, Jacob the Harper there as well. But yeah, my Nosferatu review has been up on my website, jacobvharper.com. For those of you interested in reading all about that, I also mentioned it in my top 10 horror films of 2024. I think indeed it goes without saying. I absolutely adored Nosferatu. I mean, come on, it's Robert Eggers, it's gothic horror, it's technically an adaptation of Dracula, which I've been reading. I've been rereading Dracula as of late, so I've been in kind of a vampire kick. And yeah, it just scratched every itch. It's fantastic. If you haven't already seen it, highly recommend checking it out. I don't know if it's still in playing in some theaters. It might be. I do know it's available to rent right now for about 20 bucks. Um, which I would argue is worth it, but I can understand some people have been kind of hesitant about that. But I would recommend seeing it in the theater if you can, see it on the big screen, the way, not to sound like a Christopher Nolan type guy, but that I feel like that is the best way to see it. I saw it in IMAX, I saw it in Dolby, I saw it in standard. The only format I didn't see it in is 35 millimeter because they did not bring a 35 millimeter print of it to Dallas. I would have had to go to the South Lamar in Austin for that, and I did not feel like taking a road trip to Austin this past month. But uh, yeah, I loved Nosferatu. All that to say, short story long, I love Nosferatu. All right, next up on my little bullet points here is new Monkey trailer.
Oh, fuck. Uh,
Uh, yeah, did anyone else see the Monkey trailer? I absolutely adore the new trailer for the Monkey. I adored every piece of marketing for that film. But this new trailer, I mean, a little bit on the spoilery side, and I try very hard to avoid like the second or third trailer to come out for a movie because I notice the closer we get to the movie, the more spoilery each trailer gets. Um, but with the monkey, I was like, well, I get the gist. It's a monkey, people die. It's not like a movie like Companion, which I haven't seen yet. I know they just did an AMC screen, a Scream Unseen, which I unfortunately did not go to. But I do know they did a special screening of Companion for that. I will be seeing it sometime this weekend, hopefully. But I do know that the trailers have been kind of spoilery for that one. Although I did hear from people who did go to the advanced screening that the new trailer everyone thought was super spoilery actually isn't too spoilery. So thank God for that, I guess. But I do know trailers nowadays, not just nowadays, it's not like a new thing, but um, a lot of trailers are very spoilery. But with the monkey, I made an exception. I usually don't watch a movie trailer outside of the theater unless I'm like super, super, super stoked for it. And the monkey, I am just super stoked for. And again, the concept, I don't think there's going to be a lot of crazy twists that they could reveal in the trailer. So I watched the hell out of that new monkey trailer, and it looks great. I mean, Osgood Perkins, I loved Long Legs. And I feel like this will be a very different beast compared to Long Legs, but in a good way, which I'm super excited about. I remember, uh, excuse me, I'm still getting over that sickness. I have like a lingering cough, and it's been, what is wrong with my light? I'm sure the people listening to this on Spotify are going to be very confused, but I'm having to adjust my camera right now because my lighting has been terrible this show. Anyway, there, that's as close as we're gonna get for right now. Where was I? Oh yeah, the monkey. It looks good, looks great. I saw, I believe it was in an interview that Osgood Perkins had said that this is a more Joe Dante type film. Which those of you who don't know Joe Dante, he did Gremlins, Gremlins 2. I believe he did The Howling. I don't want to. My lamp almost fell over. I think my house is haunted, guys. Anyway, just so I'm clear, make sure I don't make a fool of myself. I would hate to look like a fool while my lamp is flipping out. And yeah, he did direct The Howling, Small Soldiers, The Burbs. Who could forget The Burbs? But Gremlins 1 and 2 are kind of my go-tos for Joe Dante. I think that captures the style quite well. And hearing that the monkey is going to be more of a Joe Dante kind of very, very dark horror comedy. I mean, come on, who can resist that? That just, it's too cool, right? Um, Based on a Stephen King short story, which I'm re-listening. I found an audiobook of The Monkey, so I've been listening to that. I've never read the original short story, so that's been exciting. And yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm very excited for it. I think it's my most anticipated horror film of this year, which you know, it's February. It comes out in February. So I would, on one hand, I would hate for my most anticipated movie to be like right at the beginning of the year, but also just holy crap, the monkey looks so good. All right, that's enough gushing about it, but if you haven't already, check out that freaking trailer. It's so cool. Um, Wolfman came out. I saw that. And I liked it. I liked it. I do think it was kind of a step down with compared to Leigh Whannell's other Universal monster remake, The Invisible Man. But then again, I mean, The Invisible Man, uh that's a tough one to beat. I think The Invisible Man is one of the best one of the best horror films of the 2020s, certainly one of the best horror remakes of the 2020s. Of course, not like Nosferatu, but I mean, it's pretty good. And Leigh Whannell directed the hell out of Invisible Man. And Wolfman, now look, I'm a little bit more, what's the word? I don't know. I'm a little bit more biased, I guess. I grew up as a huge, huge fan of the original 1941 Lon Chaney Jr. Wolfman, with the black and white and the very classic furry makeup. And this movie isn't that. And nor should, my God, my lighting, nor should people have expected it to be that. Not that I went in with that expectation, but I am a big fan of the 1941. Oh, my God, my lamp. I'm just gonna leave it like that. My lighting looks fine. If you hear my lamp being haunted in the background, no, you don't. But yeah, going into the Wolfman, I knew it was going to be that. But it's there are times where you could feel like the atmosphere is lacking a little bit, especially compared to I mean, there's something about those classic 1940s, 1950s monster movies that just has such like palpable atmosphere. And that was definitely missed in the new one. What I did like though about the new Wolfman is it really leans into the idea of it being a like modern approach, and by that I mean it makes the Wolfman disease. I forget what I think it's called, like face of the wolf, whatever disease. It's an actual disease in this film. It feels very realistic compared to the more fantastical magic voodoo type aspect of the original. This one is more like it looks like an actual uh horrible disease one could contract because it's got a lot of body horror elements, a lot of skin being pulled and morphed, nails being torn off, flesh being mutilated, which is all great. And I definitely respect the hell out of it for going in that new direction. That was one of the more interesting aspects of Wolfman. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't terrible. It was pretty all right. It was good. Um, I just think, especially compared to the 1941 original, which I know I'm biased, but I mean that 1941 original is such a classic. And also compared to Leigh Whannell's The Invisible Man, I couldn't help but walk away a little bit underwhelmed. But is what it is. They can't all be winners. I still love the hell out of everything Leigh Whannell does, and I will be there day one for his next project, which I believe is another monster movie. I believe. No idea, but I'm looking to see if there's any new stuff. Uh, no, I don't know. I'm not seeing anything about what he's gonna do next, but I'm sure whatever it is, I will. First off, I'll be there day one, obviously, and I am sure I will enjoy it. In all fairness, I need to give Wolfman another watch because when I watched it, it was pretty late at night. I caught like the last showing at the theater, and it also didn't help that while I was watching it, I started getting sick. Not like vomit sick, but like I had like a fever developing. I had the Wolfman fever, and that night was when my kind of sick thing started. So it didn't really get a fair shot, in all fairness. But from when I wasn't suffering, sitting on my theater seat on the verge of dying, I was having an all right time. Um, but yeah, that's my abridged Wolfman review. I'm sure I wrote a more decent one on Letterboxd, and who knows, maybe upon a rewatch, I'll be compelled to write a more in-depth, thorough website worthy review. So, but until then, keep an eye on the Letterboxd. Always keep an eye on the Letterboxd. Next up on the list of things on my agenda, The Substance wins a Golden Globe, which context, I wrote this list out way earlier this month, and I've just been adding to it and editing it. So, The Substance winning the Golden Globe for, I believe, Demi Moore, actress in a lead role. So it's Golden Globe win. Yeah, best performance by a female actor in a musical or a comedy. Don't know where the musical part comes in, but and there were some funny parts of The Substance, I suppose. I think it's just because they don't have a horror. I don't think they have a horror category, so it's kind of like whatever's closest. So, which I thought was great, and I think that set the stage very well for what came next, and I predicted it on Twitter and Instagram. Drum roll. The Substance was also nominated at the Oscars. It, I believe, had five nominations, which I have them listed here. Which, okay, first off, any horror movie being nominated at the Oscars is like big freaking deal to me. That is like insane to me. Because I mean, we look, we in the horror community know the Oscars have some sort of unfair bias towards horror. You don't see a lot of horror films get nominated. I think it's about one or two a decade, maybe around. I made a whole Instagram TED Talk, charting out horror movies being nominated for Oscars. And that's where I said I think The Substance will be the horror film of 2024 to get an Oscar nomination. And boy, was I right and then some. Check this out. The Substance was nominated for Best Original Screenplay, which amazing, so deserved. Best Actress in a Lead Role, Demi Moore, amazing. I feel like we're kind of ignoring Margaret Qualley a little bit. She wasn't nominated for the Golden Globe and she was not nominated for the Oscar, which I feel like isn't great, but I mean, I'm very happy for Demi Moore. She obviously deserves the hell out of this. So, Best Actress in a Lead Role, Best Makeup and Hairstyling, which okay, fair. There's some great makeup and hair in that film, especially given the subject material. Um, Best Director for Coraline, which is fucking phenomenal, so deserved, and Best Picture. Now, Best Picture, that last one, save the best for last. That is the big one. This is the first horror film to get a Best Picture nomination since Get Out at the 2018 Oscars, um, which is huge. I mean, Get Out was like a huge deal. It was a huge deal, and it reflected by getting the Oscar nomination. So I'm glad that The Substance can join that very elite, very tight group of films, horror films, to be nominated for a Best Picture. So big congratulations to the team over at The Substance for all the nominations. They deserve all of them and then some. And again, I really do feel like we're kind of I think Margaret Qualley needs to get her flowers here as well because she acted the hell out of an opposite to Demi Moore. If you haven't seen The Substance, oh my goodness, do yourself a favor and watch the freaking Substance. It's available to rent, I believe. I know it's on Mubi, it's on Blu-ray. Like, go check it out. Um, but kind of switching gears, but not really staying on the Oscars. I predicted The Substance would get an Oscar nomination or two. I didn't expect all I have five, um, but I'm very happy about it. Nosferatu came in with four nominations. Excuse me, sorry. Nosferatu came in with four nominations, which is a huge freaking deal as well. Because again, like I said, one horror movie being nominated at the Oscars is enough to get me excited. The Substance with five, Nosferatu with four, and Alien Romulus with a VFX nomination. Um, like that's the coolest shit ever. That makes me happy. I was mad because I woke up late and didn't get to watch the Oscar nominations live. I set an alarm. I woke up an hour after they happened. They started at 7:30. I woke up at 8:30 a.m., which sucked. I was very upset about that. Um, but then I saw on Twitter The Substance and Nosferatu, my top two horror films of the year, uh, in the Oscar nominations. That's so freaking cool. Nosferatu, for those unaware, got nominated for Best Production Design, Best Makeup and Hairstyling, Best Costume Design, and Best Cinematography. Um, little bit. annoyed that Robert Eggers didn't get a Best Director nomination, and that it also didn't get a Best Picture, or that Lily Rose Depp didn't get Best Actress in a Lead Role. I feel like in a perfect world, it would be The Substance and Nosferatu battling it out in all the main stage categories. But you know what? Nosferatu with four nominations, I'm happy about it. Like obviously, I wish Robert Eggers would get his flowers as a director and become an Oscar nominated director. Um, but I mean, for Nosferatu, for the again, for those who haven't seen it, I can't overstate the the detail in. I mean, everything I just listed, the production design, all the moving sets, the village, Castle Orlok, Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok, every outfit Lily Rose Depp wears. I mean, these are all incredibly earned nominations. And Best Cinematography, that movie has some gorgeous cinematography. Um, so every single nomination it got there, all four, all entirely deserved. And I even said the night before, I was in my one of my horror group chats, and I was like, if nothing else, they need to at least shout out Nosferatu for its hands-on production design. Because I watched some interview and they said they built like over 60 sets that are all movable, and it's just cool. And so I'm glad it's getting its accolades for that. Um, so congratulations to the Nosferatu team as well for getting four Oscar nominations. That is fucking awesome. And then Alien Romulus nominated for VFX, which, I know there were some people who had issues with some visual aspects of Romulus, trying to walk the landmine of spoiler, but there is uh, deep fake CGI character that obviously looks a bit rough around the edges. Um, but I think for the most part, I think ignoring that, Romulus had some pretty good visual effects. The practical face huggers, for those of you who have seen that video of Fed Alvarez, he's got the remote control face hugger and it's running, scurrying around on set. I mean, that's cool. And that's a cool thing to get nominated for an Alien film. I know Alien has a history of getting VFX nominations. I believe. Do they? Yeah. Yeah, the original Alien was nominated for Best Production Design and Best Visual Effects in 1980. Um, yeah. Yeah, so Alien has had a history of the Alien franchise has had a history of getting visual effects and other such accolades with the Oscars. So I'm glad that it is continuing with Romulus. Um, but yeah, all that to say, I'm glad the Oscars took horror seriously this year. Wish they kept that energy the last 10 years or so. I mean, you look at like Toni Collette's performance in Hereditary, that was pretty damn Oscar worthy in my opinion. You look at Mia Goth in Pearl, that's pretty damn Oscar worthy. So I do feel like the Oscars, the Academy still need to step it up in terms of giving horror its credit. But this was a wonderful treat to wake up to that morning. Again, I mean, Nosferatu and The Substance are my top two horror films of the year. So seeing them both up there with the Oscar nominees as Oscar nominees is great, and I love that. Okay. Next. Oh, okay. This is kind of cool. I'm like going through like things that I could like go on long spiels about because I know y'all love hearing me go on nerd rants, right? Getting a drink of my tea. Okay. So the It prequel series is still underway, which I was nervous. I was very nervous because we heard about the It prequel series happening, and then we didn't hear much about it for months. But we're back. We're back, and we're hearing good things. I'm going to be looking at this Collider article, make sure I get my facts right. Even though I wrote some notes down for myself, but I'm just going to uh, double, triple check. Yeah, it was announced in April 2023 and was aiming to release in 2024, but it got delayed sometime in 2025. So, not sure who or when it'll come out, but I do know Bill Skarsgård is still returning as Pennywise. Thank God. Uh, I mean, come on, Bill Skarsgård. I just want a whole spiel about him as Count Orlok. Uh, he he's the goat, man. And there will be, I believe, there will be some parts that still take place in 1989, where the original movie takes place. Because director Andy Muschietti, the director of It Chapters 1 and 2, posted a photo on Instagram where it says Clint Bowers, chief of police, and it's like his police office. For those who remember, Henry Bowers, the bully, his father was the, uh, uh, I believe, the deputy or I guess chief of police of Derry. Um, I do know Andy Muschietti is returning to direct multiple episodes, which is great. I mean, like, here's the thing. I know after Flash, a lot of people think Andy Muschietti lost his sauce. Uh, no, I think Andy Muschietti is a fantastic director, and I'm kind of getting annoyed at the. We're kind of in this mindset right now where we have no sense of like long-term thought these days. A director directs a not so great superhero movie and suddenly they're a bad director. I think that's a incredibly ignorant mentality to have. Um, and I got into a conversation with someone on Twitter about this because they're like, oh, uh, Sandberg, not the comedy guy, David Sandberg. David F. Sandberg is directing the Until Dawn movie adaptation. And everyone was like, "Oh, not everyone. There were some people who were saying, oh, they got the Shazam guy. Shazam 2 sucked. Why are they letting the Shazam guy direct this horror game adaptation?" You know, David F. Sandberg, he has been directing horror far longer than he's been directing superhero films. So put some respect on his name. He did Lights Out and Annabelle Creation, my favorite in the Annabelle trilogy, mind you. Annabelle Creation is better than it had any right to be. It's a fantastic um, prequel, far better than the original Annabelle, in my opinion. But I don't know. I noticed that with some other directors. I noticed that same energy with a lot of different directors. Oh, they directed a bad Thor movie, so now they suck at everything. I don't want them anywhere near anything I like. I don't know. I think we need to have a bit more of a mature mentality about that. Um, so I'm glad Andy Muschietti is returning to direct several episodes of Welcome to Derry. We have Bill Skarsgård coming back. But okay, now I've given it its praises. Now it's time for me to complain. Now it's time for me to be a know-it-all nerd and complain and say what I'm right and the professional writers are wrong. Just kidding. I don't believe that. But I mean, I will say this. They're planning for 3 seasons. Season 1 will take place in 1962, because we all know Pennywise comes back every 27 years. So I guess 27 years before the It Chapter 1, which is in 1989, I believe. Yeah, I just said that, 1989, 1962. Season 2 will take place in 1935, and season 3 will take place in 1908. I'm not against that, but I feel like we're kind of like we're kind of taking ourselves out of the running for some really interesting stuff here. Um, for those of you who have read the It novel, it's a fantastic novel. I love it. Um, but in the novel, it has been around since the beginning of time and crash landed on Earth in a meteorite and was frozen in the Ice Age. But then once all the ice melted, it emerged. So it has been active in terrorizing humanity since the end of the Ice Age. Um, so that's a long time. They have one of the biggest playgrounds in horror IP to do stuff with here. And I feel like just going back to the 60s and the 30s, it's not, I don't think we're doing the most that we can with this direction. I mean, like uh, have Pennywise terrorizing pilgrims in the Puritan era, have some crazy shit like that, you know. Um, I don't know. Again, that's me just kind of being like a nerd and wanting to do more with the book because I mean, even there was some deleted scenes which still have not been released. We've only seen like stills of them. There's been deleted scenes of like Bill Skarsgård and like some scenes set in like the Dark Ages or whatever, or like maybe medieval era. I don't know. It's in some totally just like bygone. It's like it's a. I'll try to find it. What was it? I think it was like a Pilgrim era, um, where um, here we go. Finding the Screen Rant article that talks about exactly what I am trying to reference here. Um, yeah, okay. So it's a scene where Bill Skarsgård talked about it on a podcast. He describes a flashback set in the 1600s that shows a pre-clown version of it and expounds on the monster expand. What the hell? I think it's a typo. Expands on the monster's backstory. Yeah, Skarsgård said the scene was very disturbing, and from what I can remember, it's a scene where it takes the form of like a devil-like creature, um, and he's telling a woman to give him her baby to eat, which is a crazy ass scene, and it would have been really freaky and really cool. And I feel like the TV show, since it's on HBO, they have a lot less restraint for censorship, and I feel like that'd be the perfect opportunity to explore more of that, go deeper than just the 1900s, like really dig into the town of Derry's history and the history of it. Um, I'm excited for the series. I'll be watching it day one. I'm very excited. I'm a huge fan of It Chapter One. I'm a huge fan of the novel. I love the world of it. But I don't know. I just outside looking in, I feel like there's some opportunities still on the table that they're not going all the way with. That's just me. Okay. This cough is gonna kill me. I swear to God, y'all. I think it's because I'm doing all the yapping I'm doing. Okay. Um, this is kind of cool. Uh, First off, I am recording this at 3 a.m. January 30th. Yesterday was director of the Terrifier franchise, Damien Leone's birthday. So happy belated birthday, Damien. Cool dude, very cool dude. I love the Terrifier films, and I can't wait to see what he does next. I know he wants to direct a Friday the 13th film, which if that could ever get out of uh court limbo or whatever the hell, I'd love to see his take on it. Him or Vincent DeSanti, who we had previously on the show. Both those guys would make some banger Friday the 13th movies. Um, So whichever one ends up getting the keys to the castle, I'm happy with. Um, but the reason I bring up that, besides wishing Damien a happy birthday, is that Terrifier has become the highest selling Blu-ray. Yeah, an article from Media Play News. Terrifier 3 takes over top spot on disc sales charts. My word, I am so sorry for y'all if y'all are hearing those coughs like a lot. I'm trying to step away from the mic and cover them, but good grief. Um, Here we go. The third installment in the Terrifier horror franchise finds Art the Clown returning to turn Christmas into a nightmare for a pair of siblings. Yeah, yeah, yeah. A week earlier had debuted in the second spot overall, but took the top spot on the Blu-ray chart. So hell yeah, that was January 6th, 2025, which is great. I actually did just pick up my copy of Terrifier 3, the collector's edition Blu-ray. Which, like I said, I love that cover. It's not often where I think the standard. I know it's a collector's edition, but this is like the standard Blu-ray. It's not often I think the standard Blu-ray has better art than like the Steelbook or the 4K. But I gotta say, I prefer this art over the one that's on the Steelbook and the 4K. Because the 4K has like the black and white photo, and it's I'm not a huge fan of it, but I love this. I love this design, and I now have all three Terrifier films on Blu-ray. So now I just need to give myself a really messed up day of binging all of them because I just think that'd be fun. Um, Speaking of Blu-rays, I guess I'll go ahead and move on to this segment of the show. I cannot apologize enough for the coughs. I feel very gross doing it, but I'm dying over here yapping for your entertainment. As what is wrong with my damn lighting? Oh my word. Okay, whatever. That's as good as it's gonna get. I'm sure the Spotify listeners who can't see my horrible, overly exposed pale face are having a ball listening to this. Anyway, kind of the show and tell portion of the show. I thought this would be kind of cool. Buy me some more time with you guys because I'm just yapping into the mic with no guest. Figured I'd show you some new Blu-rays I got this past month. So I already showed you Terrifier 3, the collector's edition. Um, Still unopened because I got it. Yeah. Okay. No. Yeah. This is the art I was art. Get it? This is the art I was talking about, where it's just like the super close up black and white. Now it's kind of cool, but I prefer this. I prefer this art. Um, but yeah, still cool. Still very cool. So yeah, Terrifier 3 just picked up. Haven't even taken it out of the packaging yet. Still got that new Blu-ray smell. I love that, by the way, the new Blu-ray smell. It's like new car smell for nerds like me. Um, we have Welcome Week, which I got last month from the lovely people at Screen Nature Productions. If you haven't seen the episode, I did do an interview with the producers and some of the filmmakers behind this wonderful indie anthology. I can't recommend it enough. Super cool. And my boy Noah Levine, I believe Noah does the drawings for the discs. He does a custom doodle on each disc, which I love the hell out of. I am a little bit, this is such a petty thing to complain about. I think I got kind of messed up in transit because like you can see there's like some tears on like the side. Minor, not the screen agent people's fault. I believe this is a U.S. Postal Service dilemma. Nonetheless, very happy with my Welcome Week Blu-ray. And if you haven't already, check out the Welcome Week episode I did on YouTube and Spotify. Great team. I hope to have them back on very soon because they were all very lovely to talk to. Next, also, I bought this with Terrifier 3, both of them yesterday. I think it was yesterday, day before, either one. The Substance. Oh my goodness, the glare. The glare. not doing this white cover any favors. But yeah, there's the Substance Blu-ray. Can't believe the Substance is the first theatrically released movie film, and it made hella bank at the box office. And now it's a Golden Globe winner, and now it's a five-time Oscar nominee. And Universal passed on it, by the way. For anyone looking for the daily dose of motivation to keep going, uh, Universal thought the substance was too weird and too risky to produce and to distribute. So yeah, they lost out on a an Oscar nominated horror film, which I think is pretty wild to miss out on. But it goes to show you never know what's gonna hit big. You never know what's gonna connect with audiences. So keep making your thing and it'll find its audience. That's what I've learned. All right, enough emotional, inspirational chit chat. Let's get back to talking about my bleeding wallet for Blu-rays. Creature from the Black Lagoon. This one was actually a Christmas gift. These next two actually were this one and the one I'm about to show were both Christmas gifts. I love Creature from the Black Lagoon. This includes both 3D and 2D versions, but I do not believe it has 3D glasses, and I do not have a 3D TV, so um, I guess I'll stick with 2D. But yeah, pretty cool. One of my favorite monster films ever made, and it has quite a few bonus features as well. I love bonus features. Actually, I made a resolution, not resolution, but I made like a goal for myself this year where I would listen to more directors' commentaries and utilize a lot of these special features on my Blu-rays more. Because I find myself just kind of watching the movie and being done with it, and I don't spend enough time listening to directors' commentaries, uh, which, I oughta, because I hear a lot of good things about them. And you would think I know more about that, but no, I'm kind of a fraud in that regard. Um, Next up, last but not least, Hush. Oh my goodness, these white covers are getting just eviscerated by my ring light. There we go. Oh, there we go. It looks better. Yeah, Mike Flanagan's Hush. Finally, 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 finally on physical media. For those unaware of the lore, Hush was a Netflix movie originally, I believe. I know it was only available on Netflix for the longest time ever. And then Netflix took it off. And then the lovely, lovely folks at Scream Factory got it on 4K and Blu-ray and made this awesome, awesome set. How cool is that slipcover? I have a poster of this slipcover now. Um, I was going to hang it up, but it came with a poster, which I'm very excited to hang up. I might put it next to I have a really cool House of Usher poster from its Fantastic Fest premiere, and I love it. So I might put my Hush poster next to that, and make kind of a Mike Flanagan shrine type of deal. But yeah, there we go. That is the 4K. Oh my God, this glare. That is the 4K of Hush, starring Kate Siegel, who gives an amazing performance. I actually just watched this for the first time in years the other night, and now I get to rewatch it in the Shush cut, which is a new black and white 4K cut. I watched the color 4K cut the other night, so now I get to watch the black and white 4K cut, as well as both of them have audio commentaries. There's an audio commentary with the cut with color, and there is an audio commentary for the Shush cut. So both those I am looking forward to tuning into. But yeah, that's my little spiel on Hush. Thank God for the lovely, lovely people over at Scream Factory for blessing us with this awesome release. I'm probably getting way too far from the mic. I hope y'all heard that whole nerd spiel just then, because I'm probably not going to be repeating it. Um, eh, y'all know me. There will be other times where I talk about Hush, don't worry. Next up on my, that's the end of the show and tell bit, by the way. I thought that would just be fun to do. Pad out our runtime. As a screenwriter, I know how to pad out a runtime, but believe me, get you to that 90-minute mark. Um, so next up, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 has begun filming. Um, and surprise, surprise, there are leaks. Uh, I'm gonna debate about putting up the leaked images from the set. Part of me doesn't want to do that, but also part of me thinks, it's out there already, and why not? But I don't know if I will. I may not. But it's not all leaks. There were some legitimately gained images. Um, there were some legit images that were sent from Scott Cawthon himself to, I believe, Daco, a Five Nights at Freddy's YouTuber. He was doing a charity stream, I believe, and for each milestone they hit, Scott Cawthon sent him another photo from the set. So I'm going to try to edit those in here. Hopefully, you're seeing them if you're watching the video version of this podcast. If you aren't, I either forgot or could not get the photos, but they're pretty cool photos. Let me double, triple check those. Gonna have to for those who are new to my just new to knowing about me. um I love Five Nights at Freddy's. I've always loved the games. I was in middle school when the first game came out. I played the hell out of it, played the hell out of the sequel, and yeah, I love Five Nights at Freddy's 2. It's my favorite game in the franchise. So I am excited, to say the least, about what is coming, because these new images are pretty damn cool. Got one where they have like a Faz talker. It might be like a spirit box type of device, which would be pretty freaking cool. There's one of William Afton, played by Matthew Lillard, the great Matthew Lillard, who I met last year, and he signed my Ghostface mask and my Five Nights at Freddy's picture. Uh, God, I love Matthew Lillard. Who doesn't love Matthew Lillard? I have yet to meet a single individual who's like, yeah, Matthew Lillard, not overrated. I've yet to meet anyone like that ever. Uh, One of my favorite actors of all time. Uh, and then there was the third and final image is just a picture. It's a piece of art with Toy Freddy on it, and yeah, nothing too special, but pretty cool to have ethically sourced, I guess I could say, images for Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Um, huge fan of the games, and I really liked the first movie. I know that was kind of polarizing amongst both horror movie fans and Five Nights at Freddy's fans. I personally liked it, and think Five Nights at Freddy's 2 they'll be able to go a little bit deeper, because I know with Five Nights at Freddy's 1 they were kind of testing the waters, finding their footing, and it was a huge success. So I am hoping that they are going to be going a little bit deeper into the lore and the maybe some of the darker aspects of the franchise. And yeah, I'm hopeful about Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Um, Let me know if you are as well, by the way. I want to know who all is excited for Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and if you liked the original, because I know the original, the first movie may have turned some people off. I know there were some people who were kind of disappointed in what we got, and I mean, I have my opinions on it, but I'm interested to hear what other people think about it, because I do know on my social medias I am kind of in an echo chamber. I've built myself a bunch of Five Nights at Freddy's uh, circles at this point, so I've yet to see many people who uh, don't like the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Anyway, moving on. Okay, this one I am actually not that knowledgeable on, so it's probably going to be short and sweet. Final Destination reboot has gotten a release date of May 16th, 2025. I believe the composer shared a photo on Instagram in the editing suite, and you can see the title card, and they said May 16th, 2025. Now, this may come as a shock to some people, but I have never seen Final Destination. I haven't seen any of the Final Destination films, not one. Um, but with a release date of May 16th, that's relatively soon. I may need to get my ass in gear and start watching the Final Destination movies. I've heard good things. I've heard they're fun. I've heard they're kind of crazy, uh, wild kills, which I mean, I just went on a whole rant about the monkey, which is all about wild kills. Um, so I'm sure I'll enjoy it. But I've never seen any of the Final Destination movies. And I do know another franchise I haven't really seen that's coming back is Scary Movie. I didn't have this written down, so I'm just kind of improvising this, but I do know that Scary Movie is getting a sort of sequel, reboot, a requel, maybe. Maybe they're going to parody Scream like they always do, and do a requel with Scary Movie. Marlon Wayans, I believe, is returning, who was in the originals, I think. Um, I don't think I've ever sat and watched a full Scary Movie. I've seen clips. I've seen the Wes Up clip and the all that. I've seen all the classics, but I've never sat down and beginning to end watched any of the movies. Um, so maybe that's some maybe those are two franchises I start binging. I was gonna start binging or re-binging the Paranormal Activity franchise here soon. But I may have to put that to the side and do Final Destination and Scary Movie because those are more pressing matters. Uh, are any of y'all fans of Final Destination? I've never seen them, so I mean, but I've heard good things. Next up on my list, we are just blasting through these. How long have I been recording? No idea. Doesn't say on my thing. That's okay. Um, where was I? Oh yeah. Next up on my list, the new Alien series. We are getting an Alien series called Alien Earth. Um, it got a new teaser trailer, which I haven't seen. I like to be again, like I said, for most trailers, I try to be pretty spoiler free. Unless I'm at a movie theater and they're playing the trailer on the big screen, yeah, I'll sit and watch it. But a lot of trailers these days I don't go out of my way to hunt down or to watch. Um, unless it's something I'm like super like locked in excited for, like Nosferatu. I watched every trailer for Nosferatu. Just like I've watched every trailer for The Monkey. So there's certain movies that like I get an itch for it, and I gotta keep watching till I get the full thing. But Alien series, Alien Earth got a new teaser trailer, which I have not seen, and I'm probably gonna avoid. And it got a new poster, which I have seen. I have seen the new poster. And I gotta say, new poster looks pretty metal. I love the new Alien Earth poster. It is pretty cool. It's got like I'm trying to get a picture of it up here, but it's got like the xenomorph head, but like on its big ass long head, it has like the Earth. Yeah, it's a simple but effective design, I'll say, which I am excited for. I mean, I remember when the news broke, it was a long while back, like years ago, before Romulus, before, you know, when news broke that they were doing an Alien series on Earth, a lot of people were like, "Oh, that takes the fun out of it. That sucks. Not a cool idea." I kind of disagree. I think that'd be. I mean, I know the famous tagline in space, "No one can hear you scream," but oh, I think there's room for potential with an alien story set on Earth. I do know the Alien versus Predator movies. I believe they were set on Earth. It's been years since I've seen either one, but I believe it was on planet Earth, which I mean, there's opportunity there. So I'm excited for it. I think it'll be a fun time. Uh, that's all I have to say about it. I mean, I don't know. There's not much to talk about with Alien Earth, but I thought the poster looked cool. I thought it was worth mentioning because I already went on a whole rant about Romulus, so I may as well continue. Okay, last thing, we're home stretch, folks. For those still listening, it is 3:30 in the morning recording this. Um, Home stretch. Last thing on my list, which is super cool news that broke, and I'm not sure it broke from this Blade Disgusting article, but I'm going to be referencing this Blade Disgusting article. So shout out to Brad Miska over at Blade Disgusting. Um, Cineverse, the company behind Terrifier, the Terrifier franchise, has acquired all US and Canadian theatrical, home entertainment, and streaming rights through a deal with Legendary Entertainment to release Macon Blair's The Toxic Avenger remake. Um, this is fucking huge. Pardon my language. This is huge. Okay. I mean, look, I saw The Toxic Avenger at its premiere at Fantastic Fest 2023. It's a great movie. I love the original Toxic Avenger. I've met Lloyd Kaufman a number of times. Fantastic guy. And I love the Toxic Avenger. It's one of my favorite trauma films. It's one of my favorite 80s films ever. I love the Toxic Avenger. Um, and when I heard they were doing a remake, I was like, that's freaking crazy. I mean, I don't know where I would start with doing a Toxic Avenger remake. And it starred Peter Dinklage, Kevin Bacon, Elijah Wood. And I was like, I need to watch this. So I go, if my first day at Fantastic Fest, they're holding the premiere. I get to meet Macon Blair, the director, really nice guy. Also met up with Lloyd Kaufman again. Oh God, these guys are so cool. Um, and I watched it. It was a really fun movie. And I get out of the theater, I write my review. I'm like, man, I can't wait for this to come out and for people to enjoy it. And then crickets for like until last week. From September 2023 to last week, it was just crickets. No one picked it up, which, I mean, that shocked me. I thought someone for sure had to have picked it up, you know? But, we were left in the dark about it for so long. Um, man. Yeah, this is huge. This is great. Huge, huge shout out to the wonderful people over at Cineverse for saving the Toxic Avenger, essentially. Because, I mean, there were conversations about it never coming out, of it being like just shelved indefinitely. Like, it was a strong possibility that no one would see this unless they were at that premiere. Um, so I'm I'm happy. Now you don't know why I saved this for the last thing. So that is freaking awesome. Again, shout out to Cineverse, shout out to Blade Disgusting, shout out to Brad Miska. That's who I'm reading the article from. And I believe Cineverse and Blade Disgusting are also have worked together. Um, no, I could also be. No, never mind. Scratch that. I'm totally mixing up. There's so many production companies, indie production companies that work together so often that I'm totally misremembering. But either way, the remake of Lloyd Kaufman's The Toxic Avenger will be hitting theaters sometime this year, sometime in 2025. Um, Cineverse is on top of the world right now. I mean, for those unaware, the Toxic Avenger remake is unrated. It's violent, it's grotesque, it's great. I mean, if you love the original, you'll love this. It's great. And So for Cineverse to pick up this unrated, uh, like gross out horror thing, horror comedy, whatever you want to call it, after they made history with having the highest grossing unrated movie released theatrically with Terrifier 3. I mean, it's a perfect storm, it really is. So, I'm excited about the Toxic Avenger remake finally finding a home with Cineverse, and I am excited to see when it gets a release date because I haven't been able to rewatch it. I only got to see it once at the Fantastic Fest premiere, and I'm ready to rewatch it. I'm excited for this. So, let me know what you think of the news of Cineverse acquiring Macon Blair's Toxic Avenger. Let me know. Were you at the premiere? Did you get to see it? If you did, what were your thoughts? I wrote a whole review on it, which I can link down below if you're interested in reading. It's live on 1428 Elm right now, which I can link for y'all. Um, and if you haven't gotten to see it, what are your thoughts on this? Are you excited? Are you a naysayer? I know there's a lot of naysayers for remakes of classic 80s, especially kind of something as niche as like Toxic Avenger. I could understand some people being skeptical about that, but I mean, take my word for it, read my review. It's a good time. But I'm curious what y'all think. If y'all are excited, if y'all are not, if y'all are wishing someone else picked it up. Because me personally, I think Cineverse is the perfect team for this. But I'm interested to know everyone's thoughts on this. So leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Um, or if you're listening to this on Spotify, I don't think there's a comment section on Spotify. You could tweet me. You could harass me on Twitter if you want, to let me know your thoughts. Um, and with that, I think that is the end of my solo episode. So now I'm going to bombard y'all with even more questions. What did y'all think of this? It was kind of experimental. I thought it was fun. I apologize for coughing. I am still getting over what I believe was a sinus infection, not the Wolfman fever like I had thought. Excuse me. I am so sorry again for that. Oh my Lord. Anyway, let me know what y'all thought of this solo episode. Do you want more? Do you want solo episodes in between get episodes with guests where I just go down a week's worth of horror news or a month's worth of horror news? Let me know what you think about this because I'm kind of into it. But I want to know what y'all think. So leave in the comments what you think of this format. Also, let me know anyone you would love to see on this podcast. I'm always looking for industry guests. If you know someone who you would like to see on this podcast, let me know. I'll try to get in touch with them. You never know of some people. I've had crazy success where I thought I wouldn't, and I've had crickets where I thought I would have someone, but that's okay. That's part of the game. Um, yeah, leave it all in the comments. Be sure to hit like if you're watching this on YouTube and you enjoyed. Don't hit like if you didn't enjoy, but please hit like, and I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. For those unaware, my name is Jacob Harper. I am a horror filmmaker and content creator, host of the Talking Terror podcast, among other things. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, be sure to like the show on Spotify and stay up to date on the latest episodes by following. If you want to know more about what I do, if you want to see more of me for some reason, you can follow my social medias. I'll be leaving a link tree in the description below. But to make it short and sweet, you can follow me on Twitter, where I am unfortunately the most active. My Twitter is at Jacob at the movie. With my Instagram, Jacob V Harper, my letterbox, Jacob V Harper, for those bite-sized reviews that you may want to read. Um, and yeah, I'll leave all the rest of them. I'll leave all the rest of the social medias down below at my link tree. Thank you guys so much for watching, for tuning in, for listening, whatever you're doing. Thank you so much for doing it. And I will catch y'all on the next one where I will definitely have a guest. I'm booking guests right now, but for now, we're doing a solo episode. So thank you so much for bearing with me. I really appreciate it. That's it for me, guys. Peace out.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into this wonderful special episode of Talking Terror. Let me know if you enjoyed because I surprisingly enjoyed doing a solo episode. I was really worried about it. I was like, oh, am I not going to be interesting without a guest to bounce off of? But I had a good time recording it. Just talking about what's new in the horror world, what's going on in it, and yeah, it was a good time. So let me know if you're interested in seeing more solo episodes. Maybe we could do it like a regular thing. Like I 1 week I have a guest, and the next week it's just a solo recap episode, or maybe we make it an end of the month thing. I don't know. It could be something to play with. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for getting through the episode and listening to me rant about horror and other nerdy shit like that. Just a quick reminder before you go to once again check out Fangoria, first in fright since 1979, the very best in horror press. These guys, I mean, there's really nothing like them. I've been collecting Fangoria for quite a while now, and I'm so honored to be an affiliate of theirs, and to be able to offer you guys a special discount code, 20% off an entire order. I had misspoke at the top of the hour, at the beginning of this episode, and said 10%. Nope, 20% off an entire order. That's 20% off a one-time subscription, or if you're already subscribed, you can splurge and get yourself 20% off some of their merchandise. They have wonderful hats, T-shirts. I was mentioned it earlier. Holders for your magazine, which is really nice. I should probably invest in some so they don't get creased. Because oh my god, who would want to get this beauty crease? Look at that beautiful. This is a subscribe. There's different covers depending on if you're a subscriber or not. Like there's the newsstand covers, which you could buy at your local wherever they sell magazines. I usually get mine from Barnes and Noble, but not anymore now that I'm a subscriber and have been for quite a while. But you get these beautiful subscriber issues. This one features Count Orlok from the latest Robert Eggers film Nosferatu, which, if you're paying attention in the episode, you know I was yapping about Nosferatu. Oh my god, I absolutely loved it. So this beautiful subscriber issue was a real treat to my ongoing obsession with Nosferatu. So if you want more beautiful subscriber issues like that, be sure to subscribe to Fangoria using my discount code Jacob the Harper. That's JACOBTHEHERPER, Jacob the Harper. And while you're at it, why don't you subscribe to the channel? That's free. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jacob Harper, for free for the latest in my horror related um, adventures, podcast episodes, short films. I'm also a horror filmmaker. So if you're interested in any of that, if any of those pique your interest, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave a like. Um, Likes really help. I love the likes on the podcast episodes. And leave a comment on who you'd like to see on a future episode. I'm always taking requests for guests. If there's someone I can get in contact with who works or is involved in the horror industry, I love chatting with them. I'd love to chat with them. You never know who will appear on this guest. I'm already working on booking some amazing guests. I mean, really, y'all are going to be very excited about who's going to be appearing on some upcoming episodes. Um, but in the meantime, feel free to leave comments for possible future guests. I'd love to hear from y'all. And I asked some questions throughout the episode, so be sure to comment regarding that. What do you think about the Toxic Avenger remake coming out? Alien Earth coming out? The Oscars were a big discussion in this episode. Oscars and horror has always been a big talking point, so I'm curious what y'all thought of that. Talk to me in the comments. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on the episode. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in to this wonderful episode. If you're listening on Spotify, be sure to hit like on the episode and on the show. I believe that's how it works over on Spotify. You can hit like or follow a show, so be sure to do that. Be sure to follow my social medias mentioned in the podcast, but I'm most notably active on Twitter at Jacob the Harper. No, sorry, that's Instagram. I'm active on Instagram at Jacob the Harper, but my Twitter is at Jacob at the movie. Would have been Jacob at the movies, but the S was too many characters, so it's Jacob at the movie. So be sure to follow me on there. And it's usually Jacob the Harper on other social medias, but I'm providing all of it in the description below. So be sure to check that out. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me, guys. Peace out.